might have put himself in that conversation.
Chris.
My initial pick was Toby Gerhardt. He had a great season, 26 touchdowns, averaged 5.6 yards a carry. But unfortunately, after the SEC title game and what Mark Ingram did, I really feel that it propelled him to the victory slot and his induction into that illustrious fraternity known as the Heisman.
Cleveland.
Mark Ingram had a great game Saturday, but by virtue, Troy Smith won it without playing a championship game. Therefore, I do think that also, Toby Gerhardt will win this Heisman Trophy. You can't base. Mark Ingram had struggled the past couple of weeks coming to this Florida game, and he had a breakout game against Florida, but Gerhardt's been doing it all season. So, I can't help but say Gerhardt probably won it just by not even playing on Saturday. Last white, non-black quarter running back to win the Heisman, John Cappelletti in 1973. So be ready to say it. Come Saturday, I think Toby Gerhardt becomes that first one in over 36 years.
In Penn State.
Great points from the panel. Up next, NFL football picks for this week. Stay tuned to The Range. Welcome back to The Range. Up here we have our NFL football picks. And with the point system, our point leader, Doug, with 55 points. In the middle of the pack, Chris and JB with 50 points. And this week's Calvin is the one and only Cleveland Spears with 45 points. Just can't seem to get it, huh?
And you know what? I'd rather be losing all these points while my Colts still win.
All right.
Can't say that about the Cowboys, okay?
This week's game of the week, the Cincinnati Bengals at the Minnesota Vikings. Chris, talk to us about it.
All right. The Bengals are coming off a win, which was an ugly win. They beat the Lions 23-13. Palmer had a decent game, one touchdown, 2 interceptions. Benson, 36 carries, 110 yards. Ocho Cinco, 9 catches, 137, 1 touchdown. They also had a defensive interception return for a touchdown. They're playing Minnesota. Minnesota's coming off a bad loss to the Cardinals. Favre went 30 of 45 for 275, 2 TDs and 2 interceptions. Adrian Peterson, 13 carries for a terrible 19 yards. Percy Harvin increased his Rookie of the Year campaign, 6 catches, 79 yards and 1 touchdown. A bad loss for the Vikings. E.J. Henderson went down with a broken leg. He's soon to get put on IR. The Bengals are coming into this game, follow right behind the Vikings for 3rd best rush defense, while the Vikings got the 4th best rush defense. But the Vikings have a much better pass defense than the Vikings. And when the Vikings played the Cardinals, they didn't get any type of blocking in the run or passing game. So if the Bengals look at that tape and study that tape and try to get the same amount of pressure that the Cardinals did, the Vikings will lose this game at home to Cincinnati. And I'm picking Cincy to beat the Vikings.
JB.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Minnesota. They're returning home, so I'm going with Minnesota.
Doug.
2 struggling offenses, I'll take Cincinnati.
Cleveland.
You can go ahead and pencil me in for Cincinnati.
All right. Wild card game. The San Diego Superchargers at Dallas Cowboys. JB, be objective.
All right. San Diego is coming off a hard-fought victory over the Cleveland Browns, believe it or not. Phillip Rivers had over 300 yards, and I have to give my congratulations to LaDainian Tomlinson for passing that 312, which are the numbers of Jim Brown, and also reaching a milestone which any running back is very fortunate, as he's had the fewest games to reach multiple rushing touchdowns, held by Emmitt Smith. San Diego's offense is very electric, as the name says. Dallas' defense, they gave up a lot of big plays to the Giants. Romo actually played one of his better games of the season, passing for a career-high 392 yards. But the running game was anemic all game. And if they want to have any success against the Chargers, they have to get that going. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys. Just too many weapons, and they're playing at home.
Doug.
I think the Chargers keep rolling. I like the Chargers.
Cleveland.
Well, let's look at this. The Cowboys can't beat the Giants. The Giants can't beat the Chargers. Therefore, the Cowboys will not beat the Chargers. Chargers keep going.
Chris.
I'm picking the Chargers, and I think they'll win this game to try to take full control of their division.
All right, another wild card matchup. The Philadelphia Eagles at the New York Football Giants. Doug, be objective.
All right, last time they played, Week 8, the Eagles beat down the Giants 40-17. It was not pretty. They rushed for 180 yards without Brian Westbrook, which is unbelievable that even happened. They had the ball for almost 40 minutes. Giants didn't have the ball that long. And they turned the ball over too much, and that's unacceptable. They're coming off a terrific victory against JB's Cowboys, which they had to do. Their back was against the wall. They needed that to stay alive in the NFC East. Eagles coming off the drumming of the Falcons, who were without 5 offensive starters. Eagles are a bit beat up themselves. Deshaun Jackson may be out, so will Brian Westbrook. And with the Giants, with what they're doing on defense differently, like they did last week against Dallas, with Matthias Kubanuka starting instead of OCU Minora, and they're bringing in Clint Centum as well, and they're starting 2 different safeties as opposed to what they're doing early on when they're struggling. So I think that continues with those exotic packages as well, getting more pressure on the quarterback. So I think the Giants win. I pick the Giants.
Cleveland.
I think the Giants have turned around this season, so I got the Giants going to beat in Philadelphia.
Chris.
Giants.
JB.
I'm going with the Giants.
Unanimous decision on the New York Football Giants. And now for the upset special. The Denver Broncos at the Drum to face the Indianapolis Colts. Cleveland, take that old-ass hat off and be objective.
Well, when the 49ers win a game, come talk to me. So, all I'm going to say about this game, I mean, it's 2 rookie head coaches going against each other. Jim Caldwell and also with, Josh McDaniels. Both have done fantabulous jobs in their first season. It's very, it's very unfortunate that, that McDaniels has lost a few games. Otherwise, this game would really be awesome this week. But, with Peyton Manning refusing to let that team lose, Reggie Wayne being basically a non-factor in that game, and still, I mean, we were able to kind of dominate. I mean, it's awesome to see that happen, but also on defense. Our defense is starting to step up. They did something that the past 5 teams hasn't been able to do this season, and that was stop Vince Young from being a big factor in the game. So, I mean, we've done that, and now that we've done it, I think, we're going to go to a below-average quarterback who I think is, and Kyle Orton going this week. I don't think Orton's as good as Vince Young. So, therefore, I'm going to go ahead and give it to the Colts.
Chris.
I'm picking the upset. And the reason why I'm picking the upset, that I feel that the Colts will start to ease back just a little bit since they have clinched home field advantage and the Broncos are fighting for that wild card spot. So I feel the Broncos will be very determined. They will go in and get still a win.
JB.
I'm going with the Colts just simply because the last 3 times the Denver has gone to Indianapolis, they've been pounded into the ground.
Doug.
I'm going with the Colts as well. If this game were in Denver, it would be a different story because they got a terrific pass defense, and as we all know, the Colts struggle running the football. So I still like the Colts.
Chris, you're by yourself. Up next, we will have basketball talk, where we will talk about somebody finally getting a win. Stay tuned to The Range.